President Trump cooling the tensions with China, altcoins on the move, and investing experts says that these cryptos might be at the bottom, not the top. And we'll talk about why this week could have been a huge week for XRP and why it might not. Hello, beautiful people. Shalom, moneymakers. We're going to talk about XRP. As always, I just want to remind you that everything we talk about in this video is for educational purposes only, not financial advice, and you should always do your own due diligence before you decide to invest. I will never tell you to buy, to sell, or to hold. All I ask from you is that you give me a beautiful smile to send out those good vibes. Smishity smash that like button because Sunday likes are for free. Don't say I don't spoil you. I'm going to give you a chance to smash the like button. I'm just going to check my messages. Do. Okay, that's enough. And let's get into it. So currently XRP is sitting at $2.39. XRP is up 1.5%. We got Ethereum up 2.5%, slightly under 4,000. We have Bitcoin up 1.75%, slight at 109, Sol at 190. Memes heating up a little bit, 3.5% for Doge, and we have other assets that were actually hit down big that popped up but then pulled back, like Mantle and BitSensor, that are now having a little bit more of a momentum today. SPX is up 8%. So Sunday, we're seeing some movement, but we know that Sunday can be a fake out day. We've seen this many times where Sunday market goes one way and then by Monday morning it totally can flip, and we are getting closer and closer to the Fed decision, which again, it seems 100% probability that the Fed will reduce interest rates, and that's coming in about a week and a half. So it's going to be very interesting to see what would have happened this week. It should have been a big week, right? We should have had the first deadline for the Grayscale XRP ETF October 18th. But that didn't happen because the government is shut down, right? October 19th, October 20th. We should have had these deadlines, but the government is shut down, so it can't happen. Until that happens, we see all the Litecoin and the Solana deadlines have gone past. So same thing here for XRP. This should have been a week that we might have been celebrating the XRP ETFs, but for now, not. And we'll see how long the government will shut down. It's like you forget, right? Especially if you're not living in the US, but the government is still shut down in the US. Okay. And that also is putting pressure on investors that are looking at the current situation and saying, hey, we're still in almost, the lowest fear that we can be, right? Fear, not extreme fear, but fear. And a lot of people are talking about how this market might have topped. But we'll get to you could call him an expert, I guess, talking about what potentially we'll see here for the crypto market in his opinion. President Trump says he's not looking to destroy China, calling President Xi a smart leader who's open to making a deal. So does this put confidence? Is this why the market is rising a little bit here this Sunday morning? Or does it more have to do with the fact that Sunday, low liquidity, a little bit of buying and not so much selling, and so we're seeing the markets going up? That is a possibility. And days like today, we can take advantage of these situations. You can always, if you're interested, right? This comes with risk, but if you're interested, you can use the leverage. Our partner, Bitunix, will give you the opportunity to do so. If you sign up using my link, you'll get some sign-up bonuses, some money that you can use for your first trades. If you're interested, link is in the description down below, but please trade responsibly. I've made a lot of money with leverage, but I've also lost a lot of money with leverage. So please be very careful with it. We saw it, of course, last Friday, what could happen. And although, we've seen exchanges close down, we've seen them go insolvent, we've seen them close positions. So read the user agreement, make sure you understand the risks and rewards. Again, if you do use my link, I will get a commission when you trade. So thank you for that. So who is this expert, right? John Bollinger. Now, if you are new to trading, new to investing, you might have not heard the name Bollinger, but if you've been in investing for a while, you've definitely heard about Bollinger Bands, right? It is a tool that's an indicator that he invented that many use around the world. Technically, you can see technical analyst, inventor of Bollinger Bands, right? And he looked at the current situation in the market, and he says that there's a potential W bottom in Bollinger Band terms in Ethereum and Solana, but not in Bitcoin. Gonna be time to pay attention soon, I think, right? And this is very interesting because we see here, right, makes barely one crypto call per year and hasn't made one on Ethereum in 3 years until yesterday. And each call he makes goes on a mark generational bottoms. He just told us Sol and Ethereum have bottom. Now imagine fading this legend, right? Basically, what for those asking what a double bottom looks like, the Bollinger Bear Patterns and TF checked this previous post where W bottom developed for Bitcoin and where John nailed it once again. So this was April 10th. He says classic Bollinger Band W bottom setting up in Bitcoin still needs confirmation. Reminder, the fraudsters, yeah, so he's talking about the fraudsters there. And again, also me. Remember, I am not on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Telegram. If you see me anywhere that is not YouTube, this is not me. This is a scammer. Don't interact with them. Okay. Very important. So if you go and you see here, right, what was happening in April, he had his indicator and it's topped here, sorry, bottom here and it bottom here. And he called a W bottom, right? That's what he called it. And he says, I know this is technical analysis stuff, doesn't work, but we are up 20% since he made that post, right? Then he said that on May 2nd. So we're seeing the, right, there's a W here, W bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So that's what he's seeing again. And this is kind of a weird thing to say, right? If you don't know the crypto market, right? What do I mean by that? He's talking about a situation where Ethereum and Solana potentially have a run in them, but he's saying not Bitcoin. So people that, would say, hey, but that makes no sense. For Ethereum to climb, there needs to be rotation out of Bitcoin into Ethereum. For there to be a rotation, Bitcoin would have to hit a fresh all-time high with a strong Bitcoin dominance. Nobody is selling Bitcoin at 105 to buy Ethereum, hoping Ethereum will climb and Bitcoin will continue to crash. And Omar is right in a sense here that, theoretically, that's usually what happened. People came after him, but saying, well, what if Bitcoin is bottom? Maybe this cycle is weird, and we have a situation where Bitcoin continues to maybe consolidate, and the rest start moving. Maybe money starts circling into. He called out Ethereum and Solana. I don't see a situation where Ethereum and Solana are running and XRP, is staying still. I don't think that would potentially happen. So this is a very confusing call out, right? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? I on the one hand, right, I understand where he's coming from because Bitcoin has held very nicely. It hasn't really sold off, and that's why it's not triggering on his indicator, right? But Ethereum and Solana have pulled back a little bit more, right? Ethereum has, this is Solana. Solana is down 25% from the high, and Ethereum is down also around 20%, whereas Bitcoin is down about 13%. So I could understand why Bitcoin hasn't hit enough of a sell-off for that to happen. So this is an interesting situation. Again, I think that most of the market right now is confused. Because we're sitting at 60 dominance, right, for Bitcoin. We're in October. We haven't seen a run. We look at data and we see that altcoins are on the move. Transactions sending outs to exchange has hit a new year-to-date high, signaling rising selling pressure or traders gearing up for a next big rotation. So maybe people are like, hey, maybe there's going to be other assets that are running and my assets aren't doing that great. So maybe I need to switch them out. That could also be a possibility. Like, it's very confusing. It's very confusing, the market right now. Usually when I don't understand the market, it's means it's close to a big movement. I don't know which way. Again, I'll never tell you to buy, to sell, or to hold. There are people that use their indicators and the indicator flashes and they're like, okay, there's one guy I've been following recently, and he also had problems with his channel, and he actually helped me out a little bit with a little bit of tips. So he was, he helped me. He answered a few questions that I had. Fefe, I don't really know how to pronounce his name. And he's actually at Crypto Banter and part of their group there. And he said the bull market is over. My trigger for a full exit has been for the same for years. A break in daily structure on the total market cap. Every time we've seen clear rejection followed by a lower low on the daily chart, it has marked the end of the bull cycle. This time is no different. Right? And he goes through why he thinks. And of course, he got attacked significantly. And even the people at Crypto Banter disagreed with him. And Iran from Crypto Banter, the head guy there, disagreed with him. But he's going with his indicator. The current situation is tricky. We don't know how things are going to play out. When we dropped off on April, everybody was saying, "Oh, it's the end. We're going into a bad situation." And Robert Kiyosaki, for example, from Rich Dad Poor Dad, said we're going to have the greatest crash of all time in the markets, and that didn't happen. So you see, even in investors and people that have been successful in life and have had good investments, sometimes they're wrong, right? So nobody's going to be right 100% of the time. There's going to be people that are going to be right. There's going to be people that are going to be wrong. For example, Benjamin Cohen, that was right on the money on where Ethereum was going to drop to, right? He said it was going to drop right to here. Now he's bullish. He's saying that we're going to see a upward movement from here. So there's all different types of scenarios, and there's all different types of opinions. Our job is to be ready for all types of scenarios. And that's why I bring you different perspectives, right? If you've been watching the channel for a while, I'm not only a moon boy and saying only go up. And I hate those comments when people say, why do you always, say XRP is going to go? No, I don't say that, right? Somebody actually watches the channel, they would know that. I give you the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I hope you appreciate that. And if you do appreciate that, and you keep coming back to see my beautiful face and hear my bad dad jokes, and you're not subscribed to the channel, now's the time to do so. Ring the bell so you get notifications about new videos that drop. Drop a comment, 8 for infinity and beyond. And don't forget to smash the like button. It really helps out with the algorithm. So thank you for that. And check out the links in the description down below. Some of those are affiliate links, again, so they help out the channel. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you next time. And like I always say, let's make a lot of money.